Mark Hill from Greenleaves. So, carrying on this analysis from the Ashcroft poll about the percentage between Leave and Remain and where it went. Somebody is going to have to break the Conservative majority on the Leave voters. Somebody's actually got to fight it. Now, as the issue gets resolved in the House of Commons, it is possible that this issue will drop in importance. But certainly the monopoly, the grip that the Tories have on Brexit voters' minds has to be broken for any of the other parties to stand a chance at gaining electoral representation. Now, it could be that we end up with a decisive leader of the Labour Party that says, look, I realise that of our vote, something like 3 Remain voters for every Leave voters are going to be arguing for as weak a deal as possible, as much power to be given over to Brussels as possible, and a safety first type approach. If there was a Labour leader with some real guts, they would actually say to the 3 rather than to the 1, I'm afraid time is up. We have got to leave the European Union. We cannot face yet another electoral defeat, which goes back, in the case of the Labour Party, back to 2014. Election after election has been lost on this issue. And therefore we're going to have to face up to our responsibilities and actually honour the 2016 EU referendum result. But let's assume that none of the Labour leaders have this courage. Is there any other party that could potentially break with its Remain voting electorate and say, no, we're going to do something different? Now, the Liberal Democrats are 7-1 a Remain versus Leave party. So it would seem unlikely, even though there is a lot of Leave voting but Liberal Democrat sympathetic vote out there, it would seem unlikely that the Liberal Democrats would make that change. But if they did, they would be able to compete with the Conservatives for that huge monopoly they've got over Leave voting. The Scottish National Party, probably it's mixed in now with their approach to try and secure an independence referendum, so they're unlikely to break ranks. But what about the Greens? Well, the Greens, strangely, have quite a high proportion, about a third, of their electorate is actually still a Leave voting electorate. Why couldn't the Greens change their minds? Actually positively say the referendum and the subsequent general elections have resolved the issue. We do have to leave the EU. And while we will honour the referendum result, we will want the maximum worker rights, the maximum environmental rights, provided those are set by the Commons. And in order to achieve strong protections for these issues in the House of Commons, it's imperative you vote for not just for Green protest candidates, but actual Green MPs to go and stand alongside Caroline Lucas and go and argue the case. That means not passing over our sovereignty to Brussels, but matching the commitments to strong support and protection that Brussels already has in UK law, accountable to a UK court and a UK House of Commons. Now, I suggest that that would involve less betrayal than any of the other parties trying to break their somewhat higher ratios between Leave and Remain. But somebody has to try and challenge this Conservative dominance over the Brexit issue, and that means accepting the result.